this is Trey Pastor, and welcome to the Horoscope 101 channel. And it's Saturday, so it's my day. And the what this week is first horror movie that you've seen week. Okay, so what I'm gonna pick is a movie that I talked about before on my channel, and the first horror movie that I remember seeing when I was in public school. I don't know how old I was, but I was young, pretty young, and the first horror movie that I ever saw was my school had a program that you could see horror movies, well, not horror, well, movies after school. Like you pay, I think you had to pay like 25 cents, or I think it was 25 cents, maybe 50, I forgot, something reasonable, I guess. And you got to come after school, and they had a projector, and you stay up, go to the auditorium and see a film, and the film that you had to get your parents' permission, of course. And the movie that I saw was Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. Okay, that was the first horror movie that I remember seeing. Remember, because I was young in high school, and then later I saw with my sisters, Carrie and Reincarnation of R.G. Rose. Okay, they took me to see that. I was way too young to see that, but I saw it anyway. Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. That was the first horror movie that I saw, and that stayed with me because that movie is just that movie again. It's just another great classic, another great performance by Lon Chaney Jr. as Larry Talbot, the fervent cursed Wolfman, and then you have Bela Lugosi, and this time he plays the creature, the Frankenstein monster in this movie. Okay, and the basic premise of this movie is grave robbers disturb Lawrence Talbot, who's been dead like 3 years, and they disturb his grave. Okay, he's been buried. Of course, it's if you've seen the Wolfman, you see how he died. Like I said, this is going to be some spoilers in here. Okay, for those who haven't seen it. But he got killed at the end of the Wolfman, of course, by his father, and of course, so he's buried in his family crypt, the Talbot crypt, and these grave robbers decide to on a great opening sequence where it's all in a graveyard, where it's all you see. It's real windy and looks extremely, it's black and white and it's dreary. And they break into the Talbot crypt and look for Lawrence Talbot because they're looking for his gold watch, his money, and his ring. Right, gold watch, money, and ring. Everybody, cause even the grave robbers basically say, they've been, everybody knows he's been buried with money, gold watch, and his ring. And and they basically, the other guy says, well, it's a shame to bury people with money when it can help people. Basically, that's what he says. And they resurrect, on a full moon, of course. And they break open his crypt and slide open his and expose his body to moonlight. And of course, that resurrection, he has Wolfman. And then, of course, they say that familiar refrain about even a man who's pure at heart, it says his prayer may become a wolf when the wolfbane bloom and the autumn moon is bright. That's it. And you see they take the wolfbane out, and they look at him and they say, it looks like he's sleeping. And then, of course, they get the ring, check the ring. And then all of a sudden, you see the hand rise up once he's been exposed to moonlight, and he grabs the hand of one of the grave robbers, and the other one causes the other one to freak out totally and just leave him there. And he basically drops the lantern and basically starts a fire. And then, of course, it's just a full moon. He's turning. Okay, and then the next thing you know, he's resurrected. Okay, and they find him on the street, knocked out, still with the mark from the concussion that his father gave him when he killed him. Okay, and he wakes up in the hospital, and they basically tell him that they found him on the street. Okay, and he doesn't quite remember. Well, I think, he does remember he does remember who he is because he tells him. He's Lawrence Talbot, and he comes from Manwilly Village, and then of course the cops investigate this, and they call down there, and then they go to see it, and they find out from the villagers that Lawrence Talbot has been killed. Okay, and then they go to his tomb, and they discover the killed grave robber was there with his throat ripped out. Okay, and then they go back and they say, of course, Lawrence Talbot's body's gone. And they see a picture of him, but they don't, the cop doesn't think could be him. Okay, and they go back and question him. And of course, while they're gone, another full moon rises, and Lawrence Talbot changes again, and this time he kills a cop. Okay, so and the next morning when the cops confront him, okay, and the doctor, he tells who he is. He remembers, and he remembers who he is really, and what that he basically tells him that he's a wolfman, that he's been cursed. Okay, and of course they don't believe him and they restrain him and lock him up. Okay, and then of course he breaks out. Okay, with another full moon, and basically he goes to see the Gypsy Maliva, trying to find a cure. Trying to find, not so much a cure, but to tell her that he's still alive and he still carries the curse that her son put on, and basically he wants to die. Okay, and then she says she doesn't have the power to help him, but she knows somebody that can. So she decides to take him to Dr. Frankenstein. But of course, Frankenstein has been killed. Okay, and which, if you see, this is actually a sequel to The Ghost of Frankenstein and The Wolfman. And of course, in Ghost of Frankenstein, the son of Henry Frankenstein, who created the monster, basically died. So they basically, of course, Larry Top is distraught because now he can't, he thought Dr. Frankenstein was alive, could help him. So he's distraught, and of course he again changes on another full moon and runs off. And basically, when he wakes up in the morning, he discovers, frozen in ice, the Frankenstein monster. And this, of course, played in this movie by Bela Lugosi, of course. And then, he shows him the records and stuff. And then the daughter of the Frankenstein that got killed, Ludwig van Frankenstein, who got killed in Ghost of Frankenstein, she comes back to the castle, and basically the villagers discover that the monster is still alive. Okay, and basically the doctor who was treating Lawrence Talbot in London comes to tracks him down to this village, and they make a promise they're going to destroy the creature, and of course, and also help Larry Talbot kill him as well. But of course the doctor gets freaked out and gets obsessed with the power and doesn't want to kill the monster. He wants to see it at its full power, and he recharges him. Hence, he gets recharged, okay, and fully awake, and he's evil, of course. And then Lawrence Talbot's a full moon again, that he changed, and then you have the clash of the Wolfman and and the Frankenstein monster fighting. Okay, and like I said, I absolutely love this movie. It's one of my favorite movies at all time. I know a lot of people gave Bela Lugosi crap because they think he played the monster weird, but actually, in actuality, his character of the monster in Ghost of Frankenstein got the brain of Igor, so he was actually speaking in that movie with Igor's voice, of course, until he went blind because his blood type was different. Igor's blood type was different than the monster's, so he went blind and basically started a fire, and everybody thought he died, but he actually fell down into the icy tomb and got frozen. But in this movie, they actually, in the original way that they shot the movie, he actually was speaking in Bela Lugosi's voice with the accent and everything. And they said that the executives didn't like that. They thought that was weird, too weird. It would have him speak that way, even though he did speak that way briefly in Ghost of Frankenstein. So they basically cut all the scenes with him speaking. Okay, and you can see if you see the scene where Lawrence Talbot discovers, Chips the monster out of the ice, and he's basically leading him on, and you see it's a voiceover. You can tell he's actually speaking. You can see his mouth moving, the monster, but you don't actually hear the dialogue because they cut out all the scenes with that, which I thought was a mistake. And all this time, you would hope that I think they lost the footage of Bela Lugosi speaking in that movie, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, which is a shame, because I would have loved to hear that dialogue between the Wolfman and Lawrence Talbot and the monster. Okay, but you do get that great fight at the end with them. They're basically more wrestling than throwing punches. It's mostly the Frankenstein monster throwing the Wolfman here and there, and the Wolfman jumping on top of the monster and him just throwing him around left and right. Okay, but it's a good movie. It has good atmosphere and stuff. And actually, it's only like 76 minutes or 73 minutes, something like that. But it's a classic movie, and it's great. And again, that's the first horror movie that I remember going to see. Okay, and seeing, which is a great experience, and just made me love the Universal horror movies all that much more. Okay, so sorry, I talked a lot in this video, and I know I spoiled it, but I had to talk about it because I absolutely love this movie. And again, it's the first movie I see, and that's why the Universal horror monsters always hold a special place in my heart. Okay, so let me know what you think of what you think of my first horror experience, and feel free to leave comments down below. And this is Trey Passive for the Horoscope 101 channel, saying so long and take care.